Hello. Welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time stopping by, I'm Lady Pavo, also known as Luna Lamonte. And today I have another true story about a spooky occurrence that happened to me and my younger sister when I was 10 and she was 6 years old. This story took place in a small city called Beacon, located in Dutchess County, New York. And it was around summertime. So I remember the time because the time of the day because my father and my mother both worked overnight, and my father and mom were the type of people who like to leave very early before their shift actually began. And my father always would leave around 10 o'clock because his actual shift began at 11. So it was around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So at this time, my parents will always leave us with my older sister, who was a few years older than us. I think she's about 6 years older than I am, and she would always be responsible to watch us while they would work. And even though they were not supposed to be doing this, all three of my older sisters were outside playing manhunt with the neighborhood children. So at this time, we lived on School Street, right behind the South Avenue Elementary School for my Beaconites out there. Anywho, so it was late. Me and my sister were getting wind down, and for some odd reason, when we were brushing our teeth at night, we were kind of feeling like we were being watched, like we had this uneasy feeling, but I honestly didn't really pay it any mind because I thought it was because we were in the house by ourselves, and normally we wouldn't be in the house by ourselves. So anywho, we go in our room, we climb up on the top bunk. At this time, we would both share the top bunk with one another. Me and my younger sister, when we were younger, we were really, really close. I mean, on a spiritual level, that's a whole nother story, but I could wake up and tell she's having a nightmare, and I would be able to like put my forehead up against hers and think of, let's just say, her shopping in the mall, and she would literally tell me the next morning, I was having a bad dream, then my dream switched and I was shopping in the mall. And we would share dreams, and we had a lot of like spiritual things that would happen when we were younger to one another that we both can say we shared, right? So anywho, we're in the bed on the top bunk, air conditioner is blowing, all the lights are off in the house, and the door is shut in our bedroom. So while we were about to lay down to get comfortable, we start hearing the door creak open and then just slightly shut. And at this point, we're looking at each other, and the temperature in the room starts to get really, really hot. And we're looking at each other, we're trying to figure out why the door is creaking and why the temperature in the room had spiked. So the first thing I say as an older sister was, Gabby, go down and turn the air conditioner to 68 degrees. It's about 70 degrees in the room. I'm like, turn it down, maybe that will make it so it's not so hot. So my younger sister's like, but you're the older one, you go down and you turn the air conditioner down. I'm not getting off the bed with the door creaking. So I was actually nervous, so I was a little scared. So I was like, okay, I'm not getting off this bed. Before you know it, the room was so hot. We were literally dripping in sweat. Like I could see the sweat dripping off of her nose. Our back was like saturated, and we're not like one of those children that sweat a lot or anything like that. We were just, the room just felt like it was on fire. Before we know it, the door now started creaking open wider, and instead of it like closing subtly, it started closing a little harder. The door just started like kind of shutting a little harder. So the first thing we think is, oh, it's our sisters trying to play a prank on us. So we try to play it cool, try to like act like if we just ignored it, maybe the door closing on its own and opening and shutting will just stop. We were wrong. Before we know it, the door just swung as wide as it can open. At this point, we can see down the hallway. And the way our room was set up was we were on the second floor and our bedroom was all the way to the end of the hallway. And when our door is wide open, we could see all the way down the hallway to the other end where our parents' room is. And then there's a stairwell that went downstairs. In our hallway, to the left, the first door was my sister's room. The second door was the bathroom. So we're looking down the hallway and there is nobody there. All the bedroom doors are closed and my sister had a padlock on her door because she was one of those sisters that didn't want us in her room messing in her stuff. So we knew, okay, there's no way that it's my oldest sister. It's no way it's any of them because there's nobody in the hallway. No way somebody could just get out of Dodge that quickly, especially with the door just swinging completely open. Before we know it, bang, the door just slams as hard as it possibly can, just slams shut. And me and my younger sister are basically huddled up, like holding each other, like, oh my God, I'm so scared. So my younger sister goes, Ari, I'm scared. I'm scared. And I'm like, Gabby, I'm scared too, but we're gonna be all right. Oh gosh. So oddly, the temperature in the room starts to go to a normal level. Not cold enough where it feels like the air conditioner is blowing, but it's not as scorching hot as it was a few moments before. And mind you, this situation happened so quickly, but when you're afraid, it's like time freezes and you're kind of like stuck in a different paradigm. So it gets quiet in the room. The door is still shut after it just slammed open and banged closed. So me and my sister are like, okay, let's try to get some sleep. So I grabbed my pillow because we would like sleep with our pillows to the end of each side. So I'm like, let me grab my pillow and lay next to you. So I get my pillow and I'm getting it like set up to lay right next to her. So our heads are facing the same direction. And we hear the door creak open. But this time it creaks open halfway. And we're hearing footsteps from the attic in the hallway going into our bedroom. And we hear the wood in our room literally creaking in while every footstep hits the ground. And these footsteps lead from directly in the middle of the hallway where the attic little string pulled to the stairwell. From that area to the front of our dresser drawer in our room. And at this point, we're like, what in the world is going on? I look at Gabby and I'm like, Gabby, do you hear that? And she's like, yeah. And she's like freaked out. In the corner of our peripheral vision, we see something white on our bedroom floor. So we both, I don't know how we got the courage to do this, we both at the same time peered down on the edge of our bunk bed because we're on the top bunk. And to our surprise, we see an all-white little girl with a very, very long braid. She's wearing a white dress. Everything on her is all white. White shoes. She's sitting crisscross applesauce with her hands placed like this on her lap, and her braid was sitting on the palm of her hands. And she's looking down at the ground. And it's like she was there, but you can see that she's translucent and you can see through her. And Gabby goes, "Ari, do you see that?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." In the matter of seconds, the little girl starts to rise her chin to look up at us. And before she makes eye contact with me and my little sister, just like that, she vanishes. Now, remind you, this story happened to me and my younger sister when we were in elementary school. I was 10 and she was 6 years old, so we did not go back or have the history of School Street and Beacon. We didn't do any research as to like what may have happened on that property before those houses were built, or what could have caused this occurrence to happen to us. We lived in that apartment for a few years after that situation, and we never experienced anything that creepy to that magnitude. But yeah, that is my story time about the little ghost girl in our room. And I hope you guys enjoyed the story. I spoke to my sister about this as adults in recent times, and she's not one of those people who's into like spooky stuff, paranormal things, anything like that. And she remembers the story exactly how I'm telling you. So this really, really happened. And yeah. Anywho, I look forward to connecting with you. We are divinely connected. Until next time, peace. And also, before I close this out, I wanted to add that her clothing was very dated. I'm not sure what era it was in. Again, I was 10 years old, but it was not modern clothing. It kind of looks like it could have been in the maybe 40s and 50s. I'm not sure. I'm not really good with the eras and time frames. History was never my topic, but she definitely had dated clothing, and I haven't seen that little girl since that day. But yes, have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this story time. Until next time, peace.